So watching the social institutions that we all rely on to survive, to retire, for medical care, for infrastructure, for safe plane travel, for safe abortions, watching it all being dismantled, taken away, right by right, agency by agency. Do you know how many MAGA supporters regret their vote? This is shocking. 2%. Only 2% of Trump supporters are willing to say that they that they wish that they had voted for Harris. And there's a couple of things going on there. One is they really mean it. There's just that much ignorance in our country, so much division of education, as we see in the college voters versus the non-college voters. And we know that the oligarchs and the kings need peasants to fill their coffers. So if you are happy to be a coffer-filling peasant and vote to have your daughter have to have her rapist child, or you or your daughter die of an ectopic pregnancy because you can't abort it even though you know it's going to explode and be life-threatening, but the law actually says that you have to be in a life-threatening situation before a doctor can even do anything. This is insanity. This is barbaric anti-science. Anti-science. And as someone who has had a medically necessary abortion, which I did following, I don't know why, my baby passed away. It just did. At 11 weeks, I started to spot. The ultrasound showed there was no life. So I had an immediately, doctor's orders, DNC, to remove the fetus. And that is now illegal a lot of places, or else you would have to go get a court order. The judge would have to have proof that the baby was indeed deceased before. You'd have to wait. There'd be quite a delay before you could even have that fetus removed from your body. And you know, if you don't believe it, you need to understand and look at all the media. Women are dying. They are dying because doctors are scared of getting arrested and going to prison. And then when we have extremists, like, oh my gosh, in Idaho, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, just recently, a woman saw over 40, I think it was 40-ish, 37, 40 men in what appeared to be uniforms with riot gear, and some had spears, and they were coming out of a hotel and getting into the back of a U-Haul with masks on. So a concerned citizen called the police, who did arrest them. But go look on my page. The guy that they follow preaches about how we need to round up all homosexuals. I mean, he's preaching to millions of people. We need to round up homosexuals and kill them. He says, try them, lawfully try them, and then they will, and convict them in a court of law. So he wants our laws to say that it is criminal to be homosexual. And it's not just him. I looked it up. After I saw that today, I went on a search and I looked up LGBTQIA hate groups in America. And the number has gone down, but the number of members has gone up because it's become mainstream practically. When preachers don't get arrested for inciting 41 or 37 or however many it was, young white men from all over the country to gather to go out and hurt or kill homosexuals, which is what we assume they were doing. I haven't seen, like, if anyone's talked or anything, but that's what he preached, that we need to round them up, legally try and convict them, shoot them in the back, line them up against the wall and shoot them in the back of the head. And then he said, that's what God teaches. And in the words of the narrator, don't know, I can't remember his name. He's like, I don't remember that particular scripture myself, and thou shalt line them up and shoot them in the back of the head. In fact, Jesus never mentioned homosexuality at all, and sodomy was only mentioned in the context of not raping little boys, if we want to get real about it. My dad was a theologian with master's degrees in ancient history, psychology, and theology, also a bachelor's in administration, and never a dull conversation in my home. And I'll tell you what, he left the ministry, which he first became a minister, a Methodist minister, and he left the ministry after he baptized me. I don't think there's a connection there, but who knows. Maybe my angels told him, dude. But he didn't like hypocrisy in the church. He stayed spiritual, and we always prayed at meals and things. And we went to church sometimes too, depending on when and where. But he became a counselor, and then he became a principal. And it's so easy for someone who has had the exposure to various ideas, like my dad and mom exposed me to look around and say, hey, there's no right or wrong. There's just be decent to each other. Love your neighbor, stuff. But Christians in America are calling Jesus too woke. You're missing, it's in the title, Christ, Christian. What he said supposed to be the rule to you guys. That's like your deal as Christians. I was raised a Christian. Don't claim any religion, but I see the benefit of religion when it's to help, when it's to spread love and kindness, and when it's to band together to go out and do good works in the world to help people, regardless of who they are, or where they came from, or how much money they have, or what it will do for you. Being a Christian is supposed to be about doing for others. It's supposed to be about looking at the suffering in the world, empathizing, and saying, how can I mitigate that? How can I stop your suffering? What can I personally do? So I find it just shocking and alarming, as the daughter of a Methodist minister, that Christianity's message has been so skewed that I can't even call myself a Christian without bringing shame and embarrassment upon myself. I also have given my Shahada, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, because I'm like, fine, all you prophets got good things to say, cool, there's only one God, that's all that means. What Muslims say to commit to their religion is there's only one prophet, there's only one God, and Muhammad is his prophet. They don't say Muhammad is his only prophet. They say there's only one God. That's what Christians say. That's what Judaism says. I mean, there's an argument that Jesus was actually the leader of the Jews, not the Christians. And the very valid one, I was at a 2-day retreat with Jack Canfield, yes, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul series and the Success Principles. And he is just such an approachable person and helped me with my manuscript. But for the last 2 days, I've been in this book retreat for my book that's about to come out. I keep saying that, but it keeps getting bigger and better, and more people are getting involved, and I've got the best publicist in the world for self-help books, and it was amazing. And in the middle of all this amazing, I watched the news and realized someone could show up at my door and ship me off to El Salvador, and there's not a damn thing my husband could do about it. He could go on CNN, he could get a lawyer, right? We can contact this, that, and the other, but I'd be in El Salvador. At least I'd finally be thin. But, and that's a very, very bad joke, which I now regret. It sounded funnier in my head. Our president has defied a 9-0 in a conservative Supreme Court, has just decided not to do what they said and not be responsible for bringing back a father who we granted asylum to who we shipped off to El Salvador mistakenly and won't even admit to that part. We are all under threat. And I was asked, aren't you afraid that they're going to come and take you away? And I'm like, until like a week ago, no. Now, yeah. Yeah. And so the follow-up is, same people would then go, stop doing that thing so they don't get in trouble. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe if I didn't have any children and I didn't love anybody else's children and I didn't care at all, that couldn't even be me. But I can't imagine a world where I wouldn't care about the rights and the freedom of the people younger than me. I'm 60 years old. I'm not going to be having any babies or abortions anytime soon. But I had 2 in the past. And I've had a medically necessary abortion and a voluntary abortion. And I understand the reasons for them. And I understand that it's very personal. And I understand that you're not going to agree with me if you're a MAGA person or an evangelical. And that's okay. I am fine with you not agreeing with me. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just asking you, for the sake of not having a civil war, to please keep your church out of our state. This, I mean, if you really are pushing for a Christian national nation, if you really think that we're going to flip into that, and that's a huge movement, I know, there will be a civil war. If you're going to line up our gay friends and shoot them in the back of the head, I will go down with them before I see it happen. And I hope you feel that way too. And for those who say, oh, he's just saying those things, it's just a smokescreen, he likes to say outlandish things. The people who said outlandish things ended up doing outlandish things. Look at history. I don't need to give you a lesson here for you to see that history is full of crazy, manipulative bastards who said crazy ass shit and then followed up and did horrible things to others and destroyed economies and nations and rights for decades to come. Our national standing is on the line. The world is laughing. I have friends all over the world. And here again, it comes down to educated versus not educated. There's nothing wrong with education, and there's nothing wrong with choosing not to pursue higher education. They are both necessary. You want your doctors to know what they're doing. You want your tax guy to know what he's doing. I couldn't do that thing. I learned how to be smart at something. You may have learned how to be smart at welding or being a farmer, and God bless you. I respect you. I respect you so much. And your religion, if that's part of your whole upbringing, your family, I respect that too. I also was from a family that went to church. I can still say my Nicene Creed, I get it. But you've got to draw the line at people trying to control other people and take away their very livelihoods. At a point where we are now afraid, where I have to literally be afraid to be thosenastywomen.com talk video podcast, even though I'm a total small fry. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to stop because, like I said, back to the top, I do have a family. I do have children. I do have people I care about in this world. And I would definitely die before I see their future disappear. And I don't want it to come to that. So instead, I am asking us to come together in the middle and to stop being red or blue. I'm a daughter of a minister, like I said. I've got spiritual beliefs. I'm also progressive with friends from other religions and other sexual orientations. All of this is just what God gave us to mitigate what the universal oneness of everything that is such that it works better for us to be symbiotic, no matter how different we are. I just don't understand how standing by white nationalist convictions, how you see a path forward for your children, for your daughters, and for this country. So please, let's not have a civil war. Let's come together. I kind of as a joke started it, but there's a Facebook page, so I guess we're real if there's a Facebook page, right? The Full Party, Forward, United, Enlightened Love, where people from both sides of the aisle, from any religion or not, can make rational, kind decisions together as a voting populace. Let's be the Full Party, okay? I'm the K. Gifford. I'll be the full prophet. And not in the religious sense. In the, I have a voice, I have a mouth, my mouth is my gun, my voice is my weapon, I will use it. Please do the same. Talk to you soon.